In the passage in the book of Acts set for this Sunday, we hear the story of the Ethiopian eunuch who was travelling to Jerusalem and reading the prophecies of Isaiah, when he met Philip the disciple and asked him to explain the meaning of Isaiah's writing. Their meeting ends with the Ethiopian being baptised and Philip travelling on and proclaiming the good news of Jesus throughout Palestine. Tradition has it that the Ethiopian became the first evangelist in his own country, and indeed the Ethiopian church is one of the very oldest of living churches. There are many interesting aspects to this story, but what I want to focus on today is the significance of the subject being both Ethiopian and a eunuch. We are told he was travelling to Jerusalem to worship, yet he would not have been able to convert to Judaism because he'd been castrated. To their credit, the Jewish people never adopted the habit common in the Middle East of castrating boys to become servants. But we know that people from other countries did become interested in the Jewish religion, perhaps because of its simplicity in having only one God and its clear set of rules of behaviour. And so there are many references in the Hebrew Bible to resident aliens, one example being Uriah the Hittite, who became one of David's high officials. However, although they could exist on the fringes of the faith, they could not become actual Jews. Thus the Ethiopian in this story could travel to Jerusalem, observe the ceremonies there and pray himself, but not partake in those acts of worship in the temple reserved for the Jewish population. Philip is told by the Holy Spirit to go to the spot where he will meet this man. Hence we know that it was God's wish that the good news of Jesus was to be spread beyond the Jewish people, to embrace all those who were willing to listen. Many at the time thought Jesus was the Messiah who would lead the Israelites to freedom. But it became clear through events like this that salvation was not only for the Jews, but for all the peoples of the world. Not only that, but the conversion of a eunuch, a person not considered in normal Judaism as capable of belonging to their faith, shows that God does not want to distinguish in any way between people with different characteristics. In fact, Isaiah had in chapter 56 of his own book said that foreigners and eunuchs who believed in the Lord would be honoured and not turned away. So there we have a nice symmetry between prophecy and its coming to pass. Isaiah prophesies that God's covenant will extend to foreigners and eunuchs, and now one of the first to be converted by a disciple after the resurrection turns out to be both of those. Surely that is proof enough that no one is turned away by God. All are welcome, all are equal. No one is excluded from their share in God's heavenly kingdom, or from that attempt to create God's kingdom on earth that is the church, the community of believers. It is, after all, God's kingdom, not ours. It's not up to us to be God's border police. I'm sure Philip the disciple, a simple, ordinary man, would never on his own have approached a foreign dignitary like the Ethiopian, but the Spirit moved him to do so, and something amazing happened. If we open our hearts and minds to the promptings of the Spirit, then we're opening ourselves to a whole new and exciting world.